Your first smile, your first words, the first step begins a baby kingdom.
Hi, I'm Sam Manor from Little's Travel Australia, and today we're at Baby Kingdom Chullora, and one of the three major stores, both all located, one at Alexandria, one at Castle Hill. And today we're going to go through some of the car seats and ask some of the big questions that parents need to be asking. So I want you to follow me. We're going to go inside and have a look at this store. It's a great store. It's a new store. It's big. It's bright. Yeah, if you haven't been here, you need to come down and check this out. Staffs are great. Fantastic. All the brand names that you think of are all here in this store. Here we are. We're at the seat section, a place where most parents are really overwhelmed by when they see it, because as a parent, a lot of you will go out there and do a lot of the research on your CREP report, find out what the best seat is. The first thing I want to share with you is this. Every car seat you see here meets Australian standard, and that's very important. So if you're here for the first time and you are pregnant for the first time, congratulations. We want you to go away and think about 3 questions that we're going to ask you. And those questions are going to help and determine what car seat you're going to choose, because we all go and look and by word of mouth of other people who had car seats and they say this brand is good, this brand is good. Well, you know what? It's got to work for you. It's got to fit your car, and that's the major thing. And so what we've got here, as again, it could be a real daunting experience coming down to choose a car seat. Again, we meet Australian standard, we have the highest standards in the world, and we will make sure you choose the right seat to suit your need. Okay, so what are the questions that we want you to ask us if we're not going to ask you first? Number 1, what car do you drive? Is it an SUV, a hatchback, a 4-wheel drive, a sedan? All these make a difference of what seat you choose. Is it a small car? Is it a large car? Okay, because some of these seats are large, some of them are smaller, and it's got to suit your need. And so the second question we're going to be asking, does your partner drive the car? Now, is he tall? Is he short? Is it a small car and he's tall? Likes to have his seat all the way back? They're factors of what seat you choose. And the third question we're going to ask you, do you have other children? You know, you might be having the first child, fantastic, makes the job a lot easier. But when you have number 2 there, you have number 3, number 4, you might have a family of 6. I mean, believe it or not, I'm one of 20 in the family. Can you imagine my mum turning up down at one of these baby stores and says, well, I've got a bus and I need to put my children all into a bus. And that's not a joke. I'm number 18 on the list. So yeah, one of 20. I know it's amazing, but it's great. So you're coming down for the first time? Great. You might have a 4-wheel drive. You might have a big car, small car. We need to know that, because the seats that you're going to choose is going to make the difference. You might have in your mind of what seat you're really going to pick, and you'll come down here and you're going to think, well, I'm going to pick the best seat, the biggest seat, the most expensive seat, but that might not be the case. It may not fit. Why won't it fit? Because as a first-time parent, you've got to remember, as a fitter, we've been doing this for 20 years, and we've seen all types of cars. We know what's going to work, what's not going to work. We have some seats set up for you in a rear-facing position, because in the rear wood is what's going to make the difference of what seat you choose to suit your car. And as I said before, if you've got a small car, well, it's going to make a difference. If you've got a bigger car, well, it won't make any difference, because you'll have plenty of room. But a lot of the SUVs, even some of the 4-wheel drivers, just to let you know, you might have a Range Rover and thinking there's plenty of room. Well, not necessarily. You might have a Hilux and you think there's plenty of room. Not necessarily either. You might have just as much room in a Toyota Yaris and a Corolla than you would have in a 4-wheel drive. I know it sounds silly, but it's a factor, because you might have more boot space in the 4-wheel drive and less boot space in the actual hatchback. So as you can see in the rear-facing position, how long they sit compared to it when it's in an upright position. Upright position means you've got a lot more leg room for the front passenger or driver, but when it's in a rearward facing position, okay, the front driver's seat's going to be affected, even the passenger seat's going to be affected. So we've got some seats set up here for you. We've got the Infosecure Grandeur. We have the Safe and Sound Millennia. We have the Euro in the Maxi Cozy, and we have the Compact in the Safe and Sound. Now, I've chosen these seats because they start from the 0 to, I think it's about 8 years old, or 7/8 years old, and you can see the length of it. So if you want to take the camera on this side over here for us, and you can actually see the sizes themselves, okay? So if you have a look down the side here, you can see how far they stick out. Now, you might not think that's a lot, but 30 mils or 50 mils can make a big difference to a driver or to a passenger leg room in the front. And as we can see here on the smaller range, we've got the Compact. And if you have a look at down the side here, okay, there's about 30 mils difference in it, and the increments go up by 30 to 40 mil until you get to about the Grandeur, where it's a lot longer in a rear-facing position. And so you might have a mindset of what seat you really want to choose. And like I said, it doesn't matter what seat you choose, they're all going to meet the Australian standard, and they're very good at and they're user-friendly also. What we want to make sure it's going to work for you. So when you come down, think about those questions. If you have a child that's 2 years old and you're pregnant, there's the second child coming along, you might not want to be buying another seat that's a convertible seat. You want to move the child that's 2 years old into a seat that might go from 6 months right through to 7/8 years. That could be the Maxi Guard in the Safe and Sound range, which goes from 6 months to 8 years. You put your 2-year-old in that, and then put the newborn in the seat that they're currently sitting in. So it's those sort of things you've got to think about. If your partner is tall, or you might be tall yourself as a mother, and you like to have your seat all the way back, well, that's going to now restrict how far back you can come. Coming down to position your seat in the vehicle. Some love it on the center. I mean, I've heard people say, what's the safest position? People say, well, the center's the safest position. Well, not necessarily. It might be the furthest point of impact, okay? But in a rear facing, that may push the driver's seat too far forward, and the driver's uncomfortable driving, and that means the driver takes first precedent of being safest in the vehicle. You might think the passenger side is a good side, curb side, or the baby on the curb side, or the road side might be the best side, because as drivers we like to turn away from an accident, and normally the passenger side gets taken out, but then you give way to your right, and so it's one of those things where what we pick. If it's your second child or your third child, then you have to ask the question, who's your favorite? Okay, and that's not going to be the case, and so it does matter what seat. If you're picking a seat that is wide and you have another child in there, the wider the seats are, the less room and space you're going to have in your car, and that's a big factor. Okay, so we're looking at bases there. As fitters, we start looking at the width of the base. Okay, the narrower it is, the better it is for the seating position. Where there's nothing in here, like another air cushion sitting up here, that's going to make actually less room for the shoulder width. Where you take a seat like this, like the Euro. Okay, have a look at the Euro. Okay, on the base there, you see how wide the seat is. Okay, again, if you have other children in vehicles, we're looking at the factor. Are they wide? Are they going to give us plenty of room in the vehicle? And as you go down the list, also we're in the area. Same thing, got a narrow base, and we're looking at, even though it's got an ISOFIX system, okay, we're looking at the ISOFIX system, which means these get locked into the base of the car. Great idea, takes away from the seat belts. But again, is it going to work for us? It won't work in the center because there's no ISOFIX in generally most cars in the center, but on the passenger or the driver's side. Now, is that going to line up? Is that going to push everyone to one side? All these are major factors of choosing a correct seat. Or you might be able to do enduro. You can see this, a very solid seat, okay, but also it's wide. Narrow at the base, but wide at the top. Is that going to fit with other children in the vehicle? So I've given you a lot to think about, okay, when you're coming to choose a seat. If you're not sure, and it's still overwhelming when you're coming to choose a seat, it's just a matter of calling the guys that actually are on ground zero. We've got guys here that work out of Baby Kingdom at Chullora on Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays. We have Steve at the front there, fitting car seats. You're more than welcome to come down and ask the questions. Or pick up the phone, call the 1300 728 363. Call us. That way we get the right answer straight away. That way when you come down to the store, you're ready to know what you're going to choose. Rather than going through the whole pains of thinking, oh, what seat's going to suit my car. It just takes one phone call. Within 5 or 10 minutes, you'll know exactly what seat you need to be getting. Takes the pain, the stress, the anxiety out of everything. It helps the staff down here get you to get in, get out, get into the car park, get that seat fitted, get shown how to use the seat. Done and dusted. That's what we're here to help you to make sure you get it right the first time. I'm Sam. I hope this has been helpful. Catch us on the next video.